Hi everyone, I'm in Valdez, Alaska, and while I'm here, I'm going to go on a bear hunt. This here is Darryl Patrick,
Hi, folks.
and he has written a book about bear baiting. And this book actually tells you everything you need to know about bear baiting, even the laws and the regulations, and even has recipes and all sorts of things. So I would highly recommend it. But before we go on the hunt, I'm going to have him tell us about bear baiting in general, and hopefully he can sort of address the misconceptions about it.
Okay, well, bear baiting I think is highly misunderstood. A lot of people don't understand exactly what bear baiting is. Many people think it's being lazy. Many people think it's unethical and it's just piling donuts in the woods. But it's really quite a skill and determining the best areas to bait, determining terrain. And then what it does, it allows you to make a sustainable hunting area by identifying bears on camera ahead of time rather than spot and stalk. I'm not saying that spot and stalk is better or worse than baiting. What I'm saying is baiting gives you an opportunity to assess the bears, see what size they are, make sure they're not a female with cubs, make sure that they're of the right age. Maybe they have rubs that you don't want on their hides. But it allows you the opportunity to look at bears and look at many bears and decide to take the larger boar perhaps rather than a smaller female bear that comes in. And you'll know all this when you bait because you'll have cameras set typically, and you'll look at those bears over time rather than stalking in the mountains where you're just going through thick brush and you see a bear, and all bears look large when you're on the mountainside looking for spot and stalk. And then many times folks take small females, they'll take small males. At times they'll take a sow because they don't see the cubs. The cubs are following behind. So again, nothing wrong with spot and stalk, nothing wrong with baiting. It's a preference that hunters choose, and that's why I wrote the book, to show the pros and cons of baiting in Alaska versus spot and stalk, which many people are more familiar with.
Now, a lot of people think that bear baiting is super easy. You have your bait out, and you're gonna sit in your stand, and here come the bears, and you can just pick and choose. So what is the success rate of bear baiting?
Well, the success rate is far lower than many people think. People again think that you throw a barrel in the woods and bears just come. And that may be so, but what happens is you may get lots and lots of bears at your stands, like we have lots of bears, but many of them are small bears, maybe 2-year-olds or 3-year-olds. And if you're trying to make a sustainable population of bears, then you want them to breed and you want them to last, till they're 4, 5, 6, 7, preferably older. And so bears will come in, and then it's still not a guaranteed kill, where a bear will come in, you'll assess the bear, and there's always variables in any hunt, whether it's spot and stalk or baiting. And so a bear will be at the barrel. You'll have to wait for the right placement. Bears are still moving about. You'll have other bears running in on the bait while that bear is feeding. So it gets very interesting. It's very exciting for anybody, whether you hunt or just watch bears. But it isn't an automatic. And many hunters will go and bait and not have any bears, or they'll have bears and not make their shots. And so, every year you have hunters go out and say, I didn't have any bears this season. And then on the other hand, we have many seasons. We're 10 years plus into bear baiting, my family, and there's seasons where we just don't take a bear because we've had bears, but it's not the bears we want. We're very selective about those bears. And so, again, people think it's just an easy 100%, you're guaranteed a bear, and that is not the case. And so that's one of the misnomers of bear baiting.
So we're going to go out maybe 2 or 3 nights or evenings hunting. So what are my chances of actually getting a bear?
Well, I think your chances of seeing a bear are 100%.
That's good.
But whether the right bear comes in for you is always in question, and there's so many variables. This is an area that, again, my sons and I have hunted for a decade, and there'll be nights where bears come in 2, 3, 4 at a time, and then there's nights where there'll be no bears at all. And weather plays a factor. You may have rain, thunderstorms, lightning. All of those things take effect. Winds patterns, mating season. So you'll have you might have a male and his sow come in, and you have him timed. He's coming in every day with his girlfriend at 10 o'clock at night, and then you go and you sit the stand, and he doesn't come in for 3 days because they're off procreating. So there are a lot of variables. So I would say 100% on seeing a bear. There's zero guarantee on getting a bear.
Well, that's okay. I mean, it's going to be a fun experience. I'm pretty sure we'll see what happens. So before we go hunting, we are going to, I couldn't bring any guns because I was coming here through Canada. I drove, and Canada has really strict regulations. So he's going to lend me a gun, and we're going to go sight it in, and then we're going to put out some more bait. So I'm going to learn about that, and then we're going to go and sit in the stand. So once again, this is the book, and this is great. It's not even that big book. It's an easy read. You definitely find everything you need, and I'm going to leave the link and everything in the description of this video, so make sure that you will check it out, and wish me luck.
Straight on shot, and the bear is at the barrel, and you're going to take your straight on shot, go right through, right here, take out part of the shoulder. It'll go straight through, and it'll take out the lungs too. Okay? If he's angled away from us, you can still take the shot. It's going to be a good shot. Do not shoot the shoulder. Picture the opposite shoulder. So you would shoot through and picture the bullet going through, and then you take out the opposite shoulder.
Okay.
Okay? So you still get all the vital organs, and you'll knock out a shoulder.
Okay.
Too. And then if he's angled towards us, then same thing. Go through the near shoulder.
Okay.
And it'll go right through and go through vitals too.
Okay.
We're not going to take any shots straight on. We're not going to shoot him if he's sitting.
Okay.
Because it gets confusing, and the way they settle, so you don't want to make a shot that's going to make them suffer and run. So,
Okay.
And they're going to run anyway, and we're going to lose a shoulder when we harvest the bear, because we're not going to use the part that's damaged by the bullet. But
Okay.
otherwise, we're going to have to track them for 100 yards through the alders, and I don't want to do that.
Right. Okay.
So, does that make sense?
Yes, it
Okay.
does. Are you calling him or scaring him?
Scaring them. See the trails?
Yeah.
They're like very established.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. There's trail. There's a trail. That's a big trail. There's another trail. You want to wear your sweatshirt? All right. All right.
So what is that?
That's the grease from the fry oil from the Chinese restaurant.
Oh, okay.
Hey, bear, bear, bear.
So that's fat, right?
Yeah, this is shortening.
Shortening.
Yeah. Yes.
So they could smell it?
Yeah.
Is it like an attractant or something?
Yep. Yeah.
And what's that?
The sweet bread. Oh yeah, thank you. Bear. Hey, bear.
Today is June 21st. It is actually summer solstice. So this is the longest day of the entire year. And this is day 1 of our bear hunt. Right now it is 7:30 in the evening and we have all the time to hunt as we have daylight. So as we have already put out the food a couple of days ago, we are going to go in and sit in a stand and sit and wait and see what's going on. In the meanwhile, we are going to check the cameras to see what kind of bears came through and hope for the best.
Again. Do it again.
This is day 2 of my bear hunt. Last night we were here until about 1 o'clock in the morning looking for that bear, and we couldn't find it and we called it a day because by midnight, 1 o'clock, it actually gets not dark, but it's just not as broad daylight as it is right now. So it would have been very hard to find a black bear on the black ground under the bushes, so we decided to come back this morning. So we are very, very tired. By the time we got back home, it was 2 o'clock in the morning, and then we left at 7, so barely slept 4 hours, and we are very hopeful to find it. We're pretty sure that it died because it was a good shot. He might have just traveled a little ways and we couldn't find it, so hopefully we will all wrap it up this morning. We could not find this bear. We tracked it for over 3 hours and we found all this blood on a blood trail, and he kept going in circles and circles and laid down and went a little more, and then we finally lost track. So at this point we think he might have survived, which is kind of unusual in my opinion, but I don't know that much. But we're gonna come back tonight and see what we can see. So let's talk about this hunt. What do you think?
Well, the good news was we saw many bears, and you had quite a large shooter bear, a nice big boar showed up who had not been on camera before. So that was an exciting experience. The bad news was that the shot didn't work out. It was a good shot. It was just a very large bear. And again, we talked about variables in hunting, and I think you hit it right where you aimed. It was a good shoulder shot, and that bullet went a different place than we thought it would, hitting that large bear. And so he ran. What we did do is we did our due diligence in trying to find that bear. We looked. It was well past dark, even though you think it's land of the midnight sun. It gets dark in those woods. And then we came back first light in the morning with help, and we scoured those woods. We found the blood trail, so it was definitely a shot that made its mark. But unfortunately, 4 hours later, through thick alders that you could barely walk through, we had to give up because we ran out of places to look. And so that bear perhaps was not fatally wounded. Perhaps that bullet, that 30-06 round, ricocheted off that shoulder and went into an area that was of non-vital organs. So I do think there's a chance he survived, which is the good news. Again, big bear. He's got a lot of strength, a lot of muscle, a lot of adrenaline, and the blood trail didn't reveal a fatal shot. So maybe he'll be ready for you next year when you return.
Yeah, I will definitely come back next year. I love Alaska. I actually toyed with the thought of moving here, but I'm sure that's gonna go away when I get back home. But I'm already planning on coming back next year. I will probably just fly, so it's quicker, and I will have more time to hunt, and it will be right in the middle of June, as opposed to right now it's the end of June, almost at the very, very end of the season. So this is the end of my bear hunting adventures in Alaska. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet and you like what you see, consider hitting that subscribe button so you get to stay updated on everything new coming up. So thank you so much, and I'll see you soon.
Take care.